We're about to step into one of history's darkest chapters, but we're going there to find an incredible story of courage, one that unfolded completely in secret. Okay, I want you to picture this. It's early morning, October 20th, 1943 in Warsaw. Suddenly, bam, your door is kicked in. It's the Gestapo, 11 of them, and they're tearing your apartment to shreds, desperately searching for something. But just seconds before they burst in, you manage to slip a precious list to a friend. So as they drag you away in all that terror, there's this tiny spark of relief. The secret is safe. So who was that woman? Her name was Irina Sendler. And that list held the names of over 2,000 Jewish children she had rescued from almost certain death. This is the story of her courage, her compassion, and that secret list, and how one person built an entire network of hope when all hope seemed lost. Now, to really understand the world Irina was operating in, we first have to understand its language. These aren't just dictionary words, you know? For the people living through this, these words were the difference between life and death. It all starts with the word ghetto. This wasn't just a neighborhood. The Nazis literally walled off a tiny section of Warsaw and forced over 400,000 Jewish people inside. It was basically an open-air prison, filled with starvation and disease. And it was inside these walls that Irina Sendler knew she had to act. And how did this happen? Through a violent seizure. See, the Nazis didn't just occupy Warsaw, they seized it. They ripped control away, stripping people of their rights, their homes, and ultimately their lives. This brutal act set the stage for all the horror that was to come. But when you push people that hard, they push back. And that's where resistance comes in. Irina was not the type to just stand by and watch this happen. No way. She joined an underground network, this secret web of people who were dedicated to fighting back in any way they possibly could. So what makes a person risk their life like that? Well, it comes down to one word: compassion. It was a deep, driving empathy for the suffering she was witnessing every single day that pushed Irina to risk everything. Her actions came from a place of profound humanity. And that compassion led her to maybe the most difficult part of her mission. She had to convince parents to do the absolute unthinkable, to hand their own children over to a complete stranger, with only the slimmest hope that they might survive. I mean, can you even begin to imagine having that conversation? If a parent made that impossible choice, the next step was to smuggle the child out. This meant secretly moving them past armed guards and checkpoints, using anything they could. We're talking coffins, sewer pipes, even suitcases, whatever it took to get them past the ghetto walls. But getting out was just the first part of the battle. To stay safe, a child's Jewish identity had to be completely erased. Irina's network created entirely new lives on paper, forging birth certificates and family records to hide these kids in plain sight. And every single day, they lived with the constant threat of arrest. For Irina and her whole network, being caught by the Gestapo wasn't just a possibility. It was this terrifying shadow hanging over their every move. And if an arrest happened, what came next was torture. The Nazis were systematic and brutal. They used inhumane methods to try and break people's spirits, to get them to give up the names and secrets of the entire resistance network. And the final consequence was execution. If you were caught, Irina, her colleagues, any family found hiding a child, it meant certain death. There were no trials, there was no mercy. Which brings us to our last word, and it really sums it all up: sacrifice. This is what defined Irina. She was willing to make the ultimate sacrifice, her own life, to protect those children and the secrets she carried. So, with all of that as a backdrop, let's get into the heart of the operation itself. How in the world did Irina Sendler and her small team pull off one of the biggest rescue missions of the entire Holocaust? It starts with this number: 400,000. That's how many people were packed into the Warsaw Ghetto. Now, because Irina was a social worker, she had a pass that let her go inside. At first, she just smuggled in food and medicine, but she realized really quickly that was not going to be enough. So the mission evolved. Irina recruited about 24 trusted friends and colleagues. Their new task was to go into the ghetto, look parents in the eye, and ask for their children. It was an impossible decision, born of nothing but love and desperation. Their methods were just ingenious and so incredibly brave. They hid children in toolboxes, in potato sacks, even in coffins. One of the ambulance drivers actually trained his dog to bark like crazy at the Nazi guards. It was a clever distraction to cover up the sounds of the babies hidden under the stretchers. And this is where that secret list comes back into play. Each child they rescued got a new non-Jewish name. But Irina meticulously recorded their real names and their new identities on tiny strips of paper. She buried these lists in jars under an apple tree, holding on to the hope that one day she could reunite these children with any family they had left. In October of 1943, the moment she always feared finally arrived. She was arrested. The Gestapo broke both of her feet and her legs, but she revealed nothing. Not one name, not one address. She protected everyone. And in the end, her own network saved her. They bribed a guard to help her escape, just moments before she was scheduled to be executed. So what's the lasting impact of everything Irina Sendler did? Let's take a moment and summarize the key points from this unbelievable story. All right, so to wrap this up, Irina Sendler was a compassionate Polish social worker who chose to do something extraordinary. She and her resistance team smuggled more than 2,000 Jewish children out of the Warsaw Ghetto, hiding them in everything from suitcases to ambulances. She gave them new identities to protect them, all while keeping a secret list of their real names, hoping one day to reunite them with family. And even after she was captured and tortured, she never betrayed her network. You know, Irina Sendler never called herself a hero. She just said she was doing what needed to be done. Her story really leaves us with a powerful question. When we're faced with injustice, whether it's big or small, how do we choose to respond? Her life is proof that the courage of just one person can, indeed, change the world.
Join Beyond Norm Input-Output Training, the best way to master English speaking and writing in Taiwan.